So you didn't start a personal brand when Gary Vee told you to. You didn't start when you saw Iman blowing up. And you didn't start when Hormozi said this.
Big difference between what Kylie was doing and what I was doing was her brand.
Yes, growing a massive personal brand was much easier 10 years ago than it is today. But after posting over 1,000 business YouTube videos and growing 4 business YouTube channels to over 100,000 subscribers in the last year, there is insurmountable evidence based on this channel that only started 3 months ago, or this channel that went from 0 to over 400,000 subscribers in under 1 year, that it is possible, even simple, to grow a personal brand from 0 today if you have the right strategy. And I'm about to give you the formula for what is working right now in 2026 for business owners starting a personal brand. Because honestly, time is running out and you frankly have no more excuses. But before we go into what is working right now, we need to look at what happened 10 years ago. Now, let me explain. You see, YouTube works in 10-year cycles. It's not exact, but it is true. This video by William Brown looks very similar to this video by Shane Dawson. Or this video by Daniel Dalen looks pretty close to Casey Neistat. So YouTube was opened in 2005, and during that time, not really much happened. As you can see, we have just random videos getting posted. The platform was brand new. The first ever YouTube video was me at the zoo. That's one of the YouTube founders, right? And there's just random videos that don't really have much storytelling or anything like that. But then we go on to 2011, and this is really when we started to see YouTube becoming what it actually is today. And this is when we started to see the era of authenticity first pop up. We started to see trends for the first time. We see Jenna Marbles, right? She is one of the first creators who really developed that cult-like audience that comes back every single time. We have Equals3, where he built a show about the hottest things that are happening in social media during that time period. And every single week he would break down all of the new news. Same with Nigahiga. He would just make comedic videos and everyone loved him. Also Shane Dawson, he started just creating really authentic personal videos, posting them and developing a cult-like audience. And this is very, very interesting because it's exactly what we're seeing come back right now. But then we go on to 2012 to 2014, and that's when sketch comedy comes around. That's when we have channels like Smosh, Good Mythical Morning, Epic Rap Battles, Epic Mealtime, Annoying Orange. If you were around during that era, you remember these creators and you remember the connection that you had with them, right? Like I would wake up every single morning and watch Good Mythical Morning before I went to school. So that was the comedy era. But then YouTube evolved. It stopped being about comedy and it started being more high quality, right? Which led to a higher barrier to entry for content. And the reason for that was because YouTube had never seen that before. And because people were putting so much effort into their content, if you missed a video, it really, really sucked. This is people like Raka Raka, Rocket Jump, or Video Game High School, who made pretty much full-on TV episodes on their channels. These videos took so long to make, and then we go into 2016 to 2020. And this is when authenticity starts to come back a little bit, but not quite. However, this was the era of vlogs. It was the first time when vlogs were very, very popular on YouTube. So that's when you saw the rise of Chasteen Neistat, right? Doing his daily vlogs, and every single day he would upload a mini movie that everyone tuned into. This is when you saw Roman Atwood starting to vlog their family life, like what was going on with their life, their kids, and just showing the inside of their life. And the reason why older authenticity creators didn't come back is because they aged by 6 years, because they couldn't really relate to that same audience anymore. So there had to be new creators who came up and started relating to that same audience that was watching those people 6 years ago. And then after that, we saw something that had never been done on YouTube before, and that is Mr. Beastification. So if you look at YouTube as a whole, you can see that literally almost every single video that was going viral was Mr. Beast style, right? This is when Mr. Beast absolutely blew up. Got his first 100 million subscribers. Now there's a lot more kids on the content. There's shorter attention spans, and there's way faster cuts to keep people watching. This is when we started to see retention editing come into play, and creators like Matthew Beam, ZHC build huge careers off of this style. But then everyone started getting tired of the crazy edits all the time. They wanted real, raw storytelling. And that's when storytelling came back into play. That's in 2022 to 2024, when we saw people creating cinematic stories, and even Mr. Beast started to recognize this and make longer videos, shifting towards storytelling and shifting towards real emotions. So there's a theory that YouTube works in 10-year cycles, and what worked 10 years ago also works today. And that's exactly what we see right now, which is authenticity, 2024 to 2026. This is where we are right now, and here's where things get interesting. We've seen content come back from 10 years ago during the authenticity stage and come back to today where people are craving that raw personal connection that YouTube should bring, right? So that's when people like William Brown, Charlie Morgan started to really blow up their channels because they saw that trend They saw that people wanted more raw, authentic content, and they started bringing that back. But the crazy thing is that now, because there's such low barrier to entry for authenticity content, now that people have started doing it again, there's actually not much demand for it anymore. Originally, when William Brown, Charlie Morgan came up, there was a very low supply, right? Okay, so let's say that we have supply and demand right here. In the beginning, there was not a lot of supply. However, there was high demand, meaning that right here, there was a huge opportunity to get views. But as the supply went up, so let's say here we go on demand, the supply goes up, the demand starts to go down because there's more supply. So people have tons of content and they're getting tired of it. They just keep seeing it on their home feeds every day, right? And so now we are actually here. We are at this point right now where there's so much supply that the demand is at an all-time low for this content, right? But I think right now this is not the best style of content to do. And to figure out the best style of content to do, you need to look at what happened 10 years ago. What happened after the authentic cycle. And that brings us on to 2025 to 2027, what I think is working right now. This is high quality. Now, you can also do a mix of authenticity plus high quality, like for example, Daniel Dalen, who bring back the authentic vlogs where he's, building his business, but his videos are very, very high quality. Or you have informational high quality, like Jeremy Haynes, who, came in and instead of just doing the raw kind of content that everyone else was, for example, Charlie Morgan, William Brown, he actually made it really high quality and took an advanced approach to business, made it high quality, has great editing, great set, great camera, great audio, and is still authentic. He's still being himself, but the overall content production is just high quality. And that is what is working right now in 2026. So if you are trying to actually grow a YouTube channel, I would make this kind of content. It is so good. Where high quality, authenticity, and value all come together, that is the best kind of content right now. We've worked with well over 100 clients now, and we have seen that this kind of style of content is performing best right now in the 2026 algorithm. But there is a new future trend that is about to become mainstream that we've already seen people making millions of dollars from, and no one has really caught on to it yet, and that is comedy. This is people like Alex Becker. If you remember his channel from back in the day, he used to be really, really popular during the comedy era. And he took advantage of business plus comedy to create really funny videos by just being himself, right? Now, because we're actively coming back into a comedic cycle, his channel is gonna do well, like it'll still do great. However, there's gonna be new creators that come up and take advantage of this even more because their audiences haven't aged out. So that is people like TJR, who is targeting the younger demographic with comedy plus business, right? And we've seen him just absolutely blow up. Same thing with Brez. It's high quality, it's authentic, and it's funny, Like all the reels that those guys are posting, even the YouTube videos are just a good time. Like you just enjoy watching it because they're naturally funny guys and they just do stupid stuff with their friends. And that is really where content is going over the next few years. Now in the future, we're probably gonna see, super high intense vlogs coming back, Mr. Beastification coming back, then back into storytelling, and the whole cycle will repeat itself over and over again. We'll probably also have a few new pieces of content that come on. However, this is the overall flow that we are following, and this is what is working right now. So if you want to stand out today, I would figure out a way to be authentic, high quality, and funny. If you do all three of those things, you are going to make it in 2026.
So if high quality and comedy are working really well right now, how do you actually build a brand around it? Well, what I'm about to say will turn many of you off of this video. And that's fine, because the few people who implement it will be some of the biggest personal brands next year. You need a content team. You look at anyone who has blown up in the last year inside of the business space, and they all have a content team of at least 3 people. Gun to my head, if I had to blow up a business owner with no social media presence in the next 3 months, this is exactly what I would do. First, I would hire an editor for around $1,500 per month. I would go on X, look up video editor, then search through the results until I find someone that I like. Then I would look through the people who they are following and DM every single video editor with this question. Second, I would follow this exact same process for hiring a thumbnail designer. I would spend minimum $150 per thumbnail and work with someone who's seen really, really good success in the business space already. And the third hire I would find is a YouTube strategist. This is someone who researches your niche and finds the topics that are actually going to get views if they are done well. I would give that person the creative vision that you have and then let them lead the charge by giving you the ideas, the titles, the thumbnail concepts, and an overall idea about what you should be saying inside of the videos. This is the most powerful hire that you can make because it allows you to have absolute certainty that the topics that you are recording have a high chance of working. Because if not, then you're just gonna be throwing darts at the wall and wondering, is this video going to pop off? Which will lead to you wasting thousands of dollars on editors, thumbnail designers, and just hours of your time. We are the leading YouTube strategists in the business niche. We come up with all of the ideas, the titles, the thumbnail concepts that we know for a fact are going to work for your channel, and even quality control every stage of the content process to guarantee that your brand will actually grow and start making sales. So if you want to build a strong and profitable personal brand on YouTube this year, go ahead and click that first link down below, schedule a time with my team, and we'll build out a whole strategy for how you can crush it on YouTube in 2026. Now back to the video. You see, the bar is just getting higher and higher for social media. And if you want to blow up fast, your content team should look like this. This is your dream content team. This is a $10,000 a month content team, which is what some of the biggest people in the space, Hormozi, Iman, all started with, that really blew up their channel and got them to the point where they can 10x it, right? But this is the leanest and most efficient structure if you're really trying to scale content in 2026. And I can guarantee you that if you're a 7-figure entrepreneur and you're spending more than $20,000, $30,000 a month on ads, switching over $10,000 a month of that ad spend into this will get you a way higher ROI. So let's go through it. First, you have the CEO and founder, right? This is obviously you. Now, majority of the time, if you're already a 7-figure founder, then you are probably not gonna have a ton of time, which leads us to the operational roles. So the biggest thing that you need is actually 2 hires, and that is a creative director and a strategist. So those things can be also 1 hire at a higher monthly rate, or they can be 2 separate hires at the $1,000 to $3,000 a month range. So with a strategist, that person is a YouTube expert. Like for example, me, I'm a strategist. So a YouTube strategist is essentially a YouTube expert. That is the person who tells you what videos do you actually create that you know are going to get results, because 80% of the results on YouTube come from the idea, the title, and the thumbnail. So that strategist needs to manage the thumbnail designer. They also need to manage the ideation, giving you the ideas for the videos, and then they need to help you figure out, what you actually need to say inside of the video. Also, they will be the one going through your analytics, looking at what is working, what is not working, and optimizing the entire channel to go in the right direction. The creative director is the person who is going to actually be operationally managing all these things and saving you the time that you would otherwise spend managing all these roles, right? So that creative director is going to be keeping track of the video editors. They're going to be keeping track of the short form editors. Ideally, they're in person so they can help you film as well. So what happens is they'll help you film the footage, then they'll upload that to Drive, send it to all of the editors, make sure that the scriptwriters have the right script. The strategist can also lean in on that because he needs to make sure that the scriptwriter knows what he needs to say. But the creative director will then manage all of the deadlines, making sure that everyone is being on time. Also can manage the strategist as well. The creative director is really the person who keeps the entire system in place and working. Because obviously as the CEO, you're gonna have to fill that role. And because you have so many different things going on, you don't have time to do that. Like really, we've seen it with over 100 clients. The CEOs who are already doing 7 figures plus have tons of different stuff going on inside of their business, and they don't hire a creative director, typically just end up being inconsistent, right? Which is obviously not going to work with content. So the creative director manages the editors. The editors will go ahead and send all of the content to a virtual assistant who will go ahead and post it. And then you're able to get 1 really high long form content piece out per week. You're able to get 2 shorts out per day because you have the short form editor, you have the short form clipper, and you're able to have that all be posted, managed without you pretty much touching anything. And this is really how the best content teams are put together, because they remove you from the process, but keep everything high quality and up to the standards that they need to be. But this is just the first step in growing a personal brand on YouTube. Now you actually have to monetize it. And there's a strategy that I've started doing recently that allowed us to make one of our clients, Joel Kaplan, over $6 million last year from YouTube with no paid ads. So watch this video next, where I'll break down the entire YouTube monetization system that we have used to generate over $30 million for our clients.